Guys, gals, everything in between, welcome back. It's been a while. Give everybody a chance to come back in. As I said, it's been a long time since I did a live stream at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I am back. How is everybody? Hope you guys kept yourselves safe, kept the family safe, and hope you are all doing well. I didn't. Hey, good evening, Kai Kai. I didn't post that I was going to do a live stream tonight. I just figured to come on in and give you guys an update as to what's going on with the Chinese whistleblower. I'll give more information about it in a bit, but I just wanted to see how everybody was doing. As I said, it's been a while, but if everything goes well, we'll be doing this a lot more often. Probably do them again every night around 11. It's what I did before, right on the dot, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So far I think we have Kai Kai in here. Anybody else joining the party yet? Or do we just keep on waiting for a bit? Kai Kai, how you been doing? You're always replying in the videos I post daily, so that's mighty nice of you. And again, for those just joining, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And like I said, we'll start talking about the Chinese whistleblower, Dr. Li-Meng, who is in real hot water. Anytime you talk about China in a bad way, you're asking for trouble. And it's already started on Twitter. She's gone from Twitter. They banned her, I think, 2 or 3 days ago. Good, just busy about school stuff. Thanks. How about you? All good, keeping busy, trying to. Who is she? Yeah, she's basically a Chinese virologist. Try saying that one. Man, sometimes I have problems saying certain words, but she is a doctor from a Chinese virologist who was claiming that the virus did not originate from where they said it did. And again, when she's talking about these things, you can see that it's very dangerous because I'm going to play a video with the audio from Fox News, which was from yesterday, I believe, and it has over almost 2 million views, and that's a lot of eyeballs, and all it takes is one person to be on the other side of what you're saying, and you're putting yourself in a lot of hot water. And that's exactly what she did by getting kicked off YouTube. I think now she's somewhere in the States. Of course, she won't tell you where she is, but she is out of China, because if she was talking like this and she was still in China, she'd be in a hell of a lot more trouble. Um, yeah, let me show you the picture. It's kind of the same one that I showed on the screenshot as the thumbnail. That's her, and I'll play the audio from Fox News that was out yesterday. Um, it might be a little hard to understand what she's saying because again, she is from China and she does have a strong accent, but you could make out the most of it. If you guys have any questions about what she's saying, let me know, and then I will. I'll kind of, well, I wouldn't translate it, but I'll tell you what she's saying. So let me pull up the video, and then I will play it. Again, I'm just going to play the audio. You guys can hear the audio. And as I said, if you have a problem understanding what she's saying, or if it's going too fast, I'll slow it down or try to slow it down. But again, I think you'll get the gist of it. It's about 6 minutes long. Wait for the commercial to finish, and then I'll play it for you all. Gotta love the commercials, right? Not. Okay, here we go.
Li-Meng is the
Don't know
virologist
if
who
you
says
guys
she
can
has
hear this.
evidence about where this pandemic actually came from. We're happy to have her on tonight. Doctor, thanks so much for coming on.
Hi, Tucker. Hi, Tucker. Thank you.
Thank you. I know that you've published some of your research. You're planning on publishing more soon. Give us, for a non-scientific audience, a summary of why you believe this virus came from a lab in Wuhan, please.
Okay, briefly, from my first report, I can present the solid scientific evidence to our audience that this virus, COVID-19 SARS-CoV-2 virus, actually is not from nature. It is a man-made virus created in the lab based on the China military discovered and owned the very unique bat coronavirus, which cannot affect people, but after the modification, becomes a very harmful virus at now.
So far, 1.7 million views on this one where she's talking like this. Whistleblowing is a very, very dangerous thing, especially after Dr. Li tried to tell people what was going on. Kai, you understand her? Yeah, it's pretty easy to understand. Some people might not get it, but it's pretty easy to understand what she's saying. But you can hear it okay. The audio is okay. It's loud enough and clear enough. Yeah, so whistleblowers never have a good outcome, especially if you're from China. There's been a lot of reporters from China who ended up, going missing and whatnot. But risky business. Is it really worth it? Let's go on.
So I have evidence to show why they can do it, what they have done, how did they do it.
So what you're saying is much more sinister even than we've suggested on this show, than Tom Cotton, so that almost anyone suggested. You're saying that the Chinese government manufactured this virus, if I'm hearing you correctly. That's what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. Based on the virus genome, is basically like our fingerprint. So you can see the very unusual characters in their genome, which clearly, based on the other evidence they left during the modification, we can see finally this is exactly the one come from their own special bat coronavirus.
And she also said that she will publish more reports with proof that it came from a lab. Again, I don't think that's a very smart thing to do. You have 1.7 million views on this video alone. She's got countless other interviews that she's done. She should be fearing her life. I think in the next interview, they'll actually ask her, are you afraid for your life and whatever? And of course, she's going to put on a brave face now because she's not in China. If she was in China, she wouldn't be so brave, I don't think, anyway. I don't think that would be brave. I don't think that would be smart. So I don't think she's brave for doing it right now. I think it's more scary more than anything. Is she currently in China? No, she defected somewhere into the States. They're not telling you where she is, though. But definitely she's not in China right now because there's no way she would get away with what she's saying if she was still in China. They would have got her a long time ago.
And then target human.
What you're alleging is shocking more even than I anticipated when we invited you on. So I just want to ask the most obvious question, which is this genome presumably is in the possession of many researchers around the world. Why is nobody saying this if it's true?
Yeah, why there is nobody want to say it is because of the big suppression come from the Chinese Communist Party government and also their friend in scientific world. So basically, this is very clearly that this virus is like Frankenstein. So he created those things like basically a cow has deer's head, has rabbit's ear, and also have monkey's hand. So they can never get it from the nature. And there was.
So it does say on the banner at the bottom, it says that she fled China because she knows how they treat whistleblowers. They can still get her even if she's not in China. I hope she knows that. Twitter got her. Twitter shut her down 2 days ago for her speaking the same way just by tweeting. So I don't know. Again, I keep saying it. It's really risky what she's doing. Would you think of her as brave? I don't think so. No, I wouldn't say brave.
Evidence left in the genome, but the scientific world also keeps silence, work together with Chinese Communist Party. They don't want people to know this truth. Also, that's why I get suspended, I get suppression, I am the target that Chinese Communist Party won't be disappeared.
You're a target because you're talking a little too much. She's from China. She would know all about the CCP and what you should and shouldn't say, whether you are in China or whether you're not in China, wherever you are in the world. You got to watch your mouth. And this is why I fear she is in grave danger no matter where in the world she is. She can be, in a remote location somewhere, and they'll still get her if they want to. They'll know where she is.
You're a brave person. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt and assuming you're not an anti-Chinese racist. So it's not clear why Twitter would shut you down or why you're being ignored by the rest of the U.S. media. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Why would the Chinese government intentionally create a virus like this?
Okay, if you want to know the exact motive, the exact idea, I think people have to come to ask them. Ask Communist Party, why did they do it? Because they are the one do it. We cannot always understand their evil thinking. You have to come to ask them. But what we see already proves that they have done that. It harmed everyone in the world.
It says here again on the banner at the bottom, the virologist said that the wet market story is just a smoke screen.
To the historic pandemic, involve everyone.
How do you believe this virus made its way from the lab in Wuhan outside to the rest of the world?
Okay, first, as I said, I have this kind of solid scientific evidence.
Kaika, I think, let me see that again here. I think some organization might support her. That's why she can be so brave. I don't know what kind of someone or organization anywhere in the world can protect you from the CCP. Like I said, you can be anywhere in the world. They will find you if they want to. And when somebody talks too much, you're not safe anywhere.
And also my next report will come out soon to make you fully understand it is. The other thing is I work in the WHO reference lab, which is the top coronavirus lab in the world in the University of Hong Kong. And since I get deeply into such investigation in secret from the early beginning of this outbreak, I had my intelligence because I also get my own unique network in China, involve the hospital, institute, and also government. Also, I work with the top coronavirologists in the world. So together with my experience, I can tell you, this is created in the lab. This is from that template owned by China military.
See, now she's talking about even like the military being involved and so many things being involved. I think she's just digging herself a big hole by saying what she's saying. Again, I give her props for being so brave, but at the same time, it's not so smart to say as much as she's saying.
And also it is spread to the world to make such damage.
To make such damage, do you believe the Chinese government released this intentionally, on purpose? Did they do this?
Yes, of course, it's intentionally. And even no need more evidence, you already can see what they try to cover up from the early beginning, as I reviewed in different medias before, and also what else they have done, like making the fabricated virus to throw out the natural origin theory, censorship, everything that every evidence point to the lab origins, and also clearly try to make people like me want to talk about the truth get disappeared.
It's hard to be shocked in a moment like this, but you have succeeded in shocking me. Unfortunately, this is not the forum for the details of your research. I don't have the grounding necessary to ask you the right questions. This is when you wish for a functioning media, because what you just said completely changes everything we think we know about the pandemic that's wrecking our country. So I really hope sincerely that you will be doing many interviews in America.
Okay, again, guys, make sure you take this with like a grain of salt, okay? Don't automatically believe or assume that she's right about everything she's saying, okay? It's her opinion. She is one of maybe one that has this opinion. You don't hear anybody else talking like the way she is. The comments, some of the comments was like, this woman is putting her life on the line for us. We must protect her. I don't know how you're going to protect her when you don't even know where she is. Tucker should be nervous as well. The Communist Party is pure evil. Protect the hero at all costs. Thank you for telling the truth. The poor woman's family, she should be nominated for a Nobel Prize. Another one says, her English is much better than my Chinese. Same, that would go for me too. Yeah, it's risky business. And then there was another one where she went back in August 11th on Spicer and Company. That one was way before Twitter shut her down. And like I said, this interview that I just played was from 2 days ago. This other one here is from last month, almost a month to the day, actually. And I'll play some clips from that now. Now, again, there'll probably be commercials in between and ads and whatnot, but let's see what Kai said here. She's a bit crazy, in my opinion. Any whistleblower who has their own beliefs, ideas, are slightly, could be considered crazy. That's why I said take it with a grain of salt. Whether you believe it or not, that's entirely up to you. But I don't know. Of course, you want to kind of believe what she's saying is true, but at the same time, why aren't there many other people saying the same thing as just one person, you know? Keep an open mind, guys. That's all I can say. Here's the one from last month. Let me just wait until the ad is done, and then I'll play it for you guys. So the audio is okay, right? You can hear it okay? Kai, let me know if you could hear it okay. So this one is from Sean Spicer. This one only has like 15,000 views, but a good one nevertheless.
To talk to us today. Dr. Li-Meng accuses Beijing of knowing about COVID-19 before it became a pandemic and suppressing vital information about the virus. We now welcome Dr. Yan.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Doctor, so 2 questions for you. One, are you in fear for your safety because you're speaking out? And number 2, when do you think China actually knew about the virus and its potential concern for the rest of the world?
Okay, so for the first question, now I'm not afraid of anything because since the time I tried to tell the truth to the world back to 17 January this year, I already know that Chinese Communist Party will try their best to make me disappear, keep me silent. But what I try to do is just to deliver more message, reveal more truth about the COVID-19 things to the world until the last moment. And now I'm in US, I'm going to tell all the things to the world in English, not only in Chinese. I'm not afraid to them at all because even I'm afraid, I still cannot be helpful. And also for the second question is, yes, they know quite a lot, more than you thought, more than we thought. Because from the even back to the early beginning, they already know that this is human-to-human transmission, new type of the virus happened in Wuhan, and it's not come from the Wuhan Huanan seafood market. It's not from the nature origins, not come from bat, not come from penguin, not come from different type of animals. Actually, they had the genome sequence even back to December. I mean, this is when the outbreak already happened in Wuhan.
So my question is, okay, she's a virologist, right? There's many of them in China. Why is she the only one that is talking this way? Are you telling me that she's the only one in all of China that's so called, supposedly brave as she is to say all this information? Or is it just a theory? Let's go on.
Still, they try to hide the truth and to let the people get infected, even the medical doctors, without any protection. And then they don't inform the world. So even WHO at that.
She is full of S, because to me she kind of said this thing on purpose. All evidence was based on her opinion. If the evidence is solid, then why not show them? Well, she said that she is preparing the reports, for what that's worth. But yeah, good question. Who knows? So I guess you're not a believer of this doctor.
Time has to reach to secret source. I mean, me, be representative of the WHO reference lab in the University of Hong Kong to do the secret investigation to know what exactly happened in Wuhan. And also, this virus actually is the lab modified one based on the PLA discovered and owned Zhoushan bat coronavirus. There are a lot of evidence even left in the viral genome. It's like the human's fingerprint. If you check it, you will see the problem. But the China government tried their best to collaborate with WHO, with many experts, top experts, including my universities in Hong Kong's top coronavirus expert. To
You know what? I can guarantee you guys she'll be missing within a month. I mean, we haven't heard from her for 2 days. Who knows when she's going to pop back up? How's she going to pop back up? Or is she going to just appear on a news station again somewhere? Like, I don't know. My guess is within a month she won't be heard from again, nor will anybody know where she is. Again, just my guess.
hide this truth and to drive people's attention to fabricated Shi Zhengli's RATG13 bat virus and later the pangolin virus. And also they try to tell world that this is something you can cure them with the new vaccine, but there is no useful drug for maybe prevention and early stage treatment, which we know hydroxychloroquine now can be used to do such function. But they try their best to stop people to know this drug and even spread the rumors about the reputation of this long-term safe drug. So there are many things. I cannot finish all these stories within one interview.
Dr. Yan, are you saying that the World Health Organization hopes that the world doesn't know that hydroxychloroquine could actually help people?
Yeah, I think not only WHO. I mean the medical doctors or the scientists, if they want to know whether this drug will be useful for prevention and also early stage treatment, they can go through those articles and textbook and also check even the website of WHO. They have 20 years.
Again, if you guys want to see these interviews, actually, you just go on to, you can go on YouTube and just type in her name. It's Dr. So Dr. and then Li, Li, and then Meng, and then Yan, Dr. Li-Meng Yan.
History that safe drug list for even children. I mean, hydroxychloroquine is listed there. And this is a drug has 70 years history, which was shown to be useful to anti-malaria or prevent malaria and also anti-autoimmune disease. which
Really, really, if for all you aren't familiar with the accent, I know it must be very, very difficult for you to understand half the things she's saying. So hopefully you're making out the gist of it anyways.
share some similar mechanism to anti-SARS-CoV-2, and it was safe for pregnant and children if you use it under the doctor's instruction and do some routine review for retina or monitor your heart problem, which is very, very rare. If you take
Kai, did you check on like Google or something for like her name? Or how are you getting your information about her or lack thereof?
it will be more safe than you take some, even the painkiller you can get in the pharmacy.
Dr. Yen, two questions. I just want to make sure I heard you right. Did you say unequivocally that it didn't get caused, that this did not stem from a bat, but it definitely came from a lab, number one? Number two, have you been in touch with the U.S. government, and if so, what agencies?
Okay, yes. This is a modified virus based on the Chinese Military Institute discovered
Dangerous.
some
Very
bad
dangerous.
coronavirus. They called it ZC45 and ZX21. This sequence are exposed in 2017 to 2018. You can check the sequence from NIH Gene Bank database. And the second thing is, since the moment I reached to US, I was testified by FBI for several times, even with their top scientists about this story. And another thing is many other people from.
If that was true, what she just said about landing here and then being questioned by the FBI, she wouldn't be doing interviews right now. That's for sure. No way. I know it was the land of the free and blah blah blah, but when you're talking about such sensitive subjects that affects millions and millions of people, hella risky. Kai, yes, I just did. I wanted to see if she had any scientific articles published on COVID. Couldn't find a thing. All she did was doing interviews. So far, like I said, and like she said, she's preparing all these kinds of documents. Well, let's wait and see if they ever surface. I'm wondering if she will ever resurface. Never mind the documents.
Government has reached to me, and it's not. Maybe it's not good for me to tell the names at this moment, but I think later.
No, not the names, just the agency. So is it the CIA, the State Department? Which agencies or departments?
Homeland people know me since I was in the airport. Yeah.
And what has their response been?
So when I reached Los Angeles airport, and I have several hours transfer to New York at that time. So basically, the customer office stopped me, and I told them my story, and then they bring the FBI people and also later the Homeland staffs.
Again, if you're just joining us, I'm playing some audio interviews from Dr. Li-Meng, the Chinese whistleblower, supposedly, who is stating that this was coming from not where we thought it was coming from. Again, I'm just going to reissue it over and over again. Take this with a grain of salt. I'm not playing it to convince anybody of anything. I am just letting you guys hear her version of where it came from and her ideas, her beliefs. And just to let you guys know that she has been suspended from Twitter 2 days ago for talking too much. And now nobody knows where she is for the last 2 days. To be continued, right?
Come to cross-verify my evidence and listen to the story I told them about why I have to come to U.S. and what I'm going to do in U.S. And also, I introduced them hydroxychloroquine and also the other things. So they finally, after the talking and checking my evidence, although these are just a part of that because the time is not long enough, just several hours not long enough for me to tell all the story. But then they let me go and also protect me to go to checking.
Yeah, I don't think they went to protect her. When you got that kind of information, you're a sitting duck.
you talked to the CDC, the FDA, any of the health agencies in the United States or the Health and Human Services? Have you talked to the medical and health agencies in the U.S.?
Not people from these authorities, because I came from the WHO reference lab for influenza and also new coronavirus in Hong Kong. And my supervisors, Prof. Li-Meng and also Prof. Malik Paris, they're both the top coronavirus virologists in the world. And from their response and their behavior in the pandemic, I know I cannot trust these people, and then they will sell me to Chinese Communist Party government. And I also know there are quite a lot of connection among even the high-level people in scientific world, in the authorities in U.S. and other countries.
Everywhere,
So,
buddy, everywhere.
I also can check the evidence, see how those people respond to support the natural origin theory of SARS-CoV-2 virus. And then I know which side they are on. I don't trust the people who support this theory, because as experts, definitely they can see the problem among these things Chinese government want the people to believe.
Well, Dr. Yang, I want to thank you for sharing your story.
So you now heard two interviews from her, one from last month, one from, I think it was just a couple of days ago, from Tucker Carlson there on Fox. What do you think? Do you believe any of this? I want to hear your guys' opinions now. Kai, you seem to think that she's full of crap. Do you believe anything that she said, or is it just pure bull? What say you? And let me see if I can find one more article about Chinese virologist who claimed coronavirus was created in a lab and fled to the U.S. has been suspended by Twitter. She had 60,000 followers before her suspension. She is a researcher at the University of Hong Kong School of Public Health. And Twitter account suspended by social media site earlier this week. She had 60,000 followers on Twitter before her account was suspended. Made headlines this week when she claimed to have evidence that the government was involved in creating the virus. She claims she fled to LA and is now in hiding in the US. I think she said in New York, no? I believe nothing until she shows actual proof. Awaiting her report. Yeah, in quotes. Twitter introduced a policy. Where did it go here? Hold on. Twitter introduced a policy in May to label posts that contain information about CV-19, which has been disputed or is controversial. The site said the policy was introduced to provide additional explanations or clarifications in situations where the risks of harm associated with the tweet are less severe, but where people may still be confused or misled by the content. Twitter did not appear to label any of Dr. Yan's tweets, but instead suspended her account. A spokesperson said that Twitter does not comment on individual accounts. Dr. Yan made the claims about the origins of CV-19 in a report alongside 3 other colleagues, which appeared to be affiliated with the Rule of Law Society, a group founded by President Donald Trump's former National Security Advisor, Steve Bannon. The report, which has not been peer-reviewed, read Natural Origin Theory, although widely accepted, lacks substantial support. The alternative theory that the virus may have come from a research laboratory is, however, strictly censored on peer-reviewed scientific journals. The researchers claim to have evidence that showed that CV-19 was created in a lab. University of Hong Kong disputed the findings and released a statement to ITV where they wrote, Dr. Yan's statement does not accord with the key facts as we understand them. They have no scientific basis but resemble hearsay. Dr. Yan added, the scientific world also keeps silent, works together with the Chinese Communist Party. They don't want people to know the truth. That's why I got suspended. I got suppressed. I am the target that Chinese Communist Party wants disappeared. Dr. Yan's interview on Tucker Carlson tonight was still available to watch on YouTube as of yesterday. Well, that's the audio I made you guys hear in the beginning. So yeah, we did some research to try to find some kind of her reports anywhere online. None to be found. Let me see. I heard some people say that she's a hoax because she's not, giving out these reports. She said last month that she's in preparing to release them and everything. So it's been a month. It's been a month and still nothing. This one here says Tucker Carlson guest airs debunked conspiracy theory that was created in a lab. Okay, let's see what this has to say. In a September 15 interview, the most watched program on cable network television aired a conspiracy theory that has been debunked since the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. This is just her talking about, it's over the next 6.5 minutes, Yan yapping about what she said. We played that already. But the doctor's interview on Tucker Carlson tonight quickly took off, inspiring a rash of social media posts parroting her claims. Just now on Tucker Carlson, it was revealed that coronavirus was created in Wuhan lab and released intentionally, says a September 15 Facebook post. Some of those posts were flagged as part of Facebook's efforts to combat false news and misinformation on its newsfeed. After Fox aired its interview with Yan, Facebook labeled a clip which was posted on the official Tucker Carlson Tonight page and shared tens of thousands of times as false information. It was also flagged on Instagram. But how do we know Yan's claims about the CV are wrong? And where do they come from? Okay, so let's review the facts. Scientists worldwide have publicly shared the genetic makeup of the CV thousands of times. If the virus had been altered, there would be evidence in its genome data. But there isn't. In March, several microbiology, infectious disease, and evolutionary biology experts wrote in Nature, a respected scientific journal, that the genetic makeup of the coronavirus does not indicate it was altered. Instead, scientists have two plausible explanations for the origin of the virus: natural selection in an animal host, or natural selection in humans after the virus jumped from animals. Our analysis clearly show that SARS-CoV-2 is not a laboratory construct or a purposefully manipulated virus, the researchers wrote. Since that article was published, public health authorities have repeatedly said the coronavirus was not derived from a lab. Some bullet points. All available evidence suggests the virus has an animal origin and is not manipulated or constructed in a lab or somewhere else, said WHO spokeswoman Fadela Chaib at an April press briefing. It is possible, likely, that the virus is of animal origin. Another bullet point. If you look at the evolution of the virus in bats and what's out there now, the scientific evidence is very, very strongly leaning toward this cannot have been artificially or deliberately manipulated. Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, told National Geographic in May. Kai says, I like actual scientific evidence. I would love to read them. The sequences from U.S. patients are similar to the one that China initially posted, suggesting a likely single recent emergence of this virus from an animal reservoir, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That doesn't rule out the possibility that Chinese researchers were studying the virus in a lab when it managed to spread outside the lab, which is something that the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency has considered. But the agency has also said there is no credible evidence to indicate SARS-CoV-2 was released intentionally or was created as a biological weapon. We reached out to Fox News and the email listed on Yan's paper for comment. The virologist didn't get back to us. Not Not really surprising, is it? Carly Shanahan, Vice President of Media Relations for Fox News, told us that Carlson will address the segment on his September 16 show. I'll probably make a video about that then once that's done. Facebook is working hard to make sure you're unable to see our latest post regarding the coronavirus whistleblower, wrote Tucker Carlson tonight in a related Facebook post. This is censorship, and we will be addressing it on our show tonight at 8 p.m. on Fox News. The evidence that Yan cited during her interview with Carlson was backed by nonprofit organizations linked to Steve Bannon and an exiled Chinese billionaire. Yan has published papers about the transmission of CV-19 in hamsters and the virus shedding patterns in human patients, according to Google Scholar. She has claimed that she was among the first scientists to study the coronavirus outbreak in Wuhan. In July interviews with Fox News, Yan accused the Chinese government of knowing about CV-19 before it publicly acknowledged the virus, and said that her supervisors at the University of Hong Kong ignored some of her research findings. I don't know if they would ignore it. Maybe just don't believe it. She fled to the United States in April to deliver the message of the truth of COVID, she said. But the University of Hong Kong said in a July statement that Yan never conducted any research on human-to-human transmission of the novel coronavirus at Hong Kong University during December 2019 and January 2020. We further observed that what she might have emphasized in the reported interview has no scientific basis but resembles hearsay, the university wrote of Yan's interview with Fox. So, final words. During an interview on Fox News, Yan said the CV is a man-made virus created in the lab. The genetic structure of the novel coronavirus, which has been shared by thousands of scientists worldwide, rules out the possibility that it was manipulated in a lab. Public health authorities have repeatedly said the virus was not created in a lab. Scientists believe the coronavirus originated in bats before jumping to humans. Experts have publicly rebuked Yan's paper, and it's unclear whether it was peer-reviewed. The claim is inaccurate and ridiculous. We rate it pants on fire. So, that's going to wrap up this stream about this doctor. And my question after all this is, I just wonder what's going to happen to her, if something already happened to her. How's she going to come out of the woodwork now? Twitter banned her. I don't know what other platform she's going to go on. I'm sure she'll continue to go on different interviews. I'm going to wait for this report to come out, if it ever comes out, and see exactly what proof she has. As of now, I'm going to have to call her bluff, unless she can prove it otherwise, and I don't know how she's going to do that. She's tried on 2 different interviews, and whistleblowers usually get in a lot of trouble. I don't think this report will ever come out. I mean, of course, I don't wish any harm on her, but she's really digging her own grave by saying all the things that she said. I don't think now's the right time to be doing this. Is it for fame? Is it for fortune? Is it for a bit of both? Is it to show people how intelligent she is, or all of the above? Who knows? We'll see what happens as the days go by in the next few days. And I'm going to say once more, take this all with a grain of salt. I didn't post these interviews for you guys to be like, oh my God, she's right or she's wrong, whatever. You guys form your own opinions, okay? This is an open forum. This is why we're here, to discuss these topics, and for you guys to leave, comments in the comment section, chat it up amongst yourselves. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Just be careful what you say, because it will come back and bite you in the butt, as I think is going to happen to this doctor. All right, guys, gals, and everything between. So that's going to do it for tonight. I will be back tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Eastern. Don't know what topic we'll cover. Maybe the same one, maybe something else. We'll see how it goes. see what happens in the news tomorrow, right? Nobody can predict that. Not even this doctor. We'll talk again tomorrow. If you wanted to check out those videos, like I said, those 2 interviews, just type in her name on YouTube and you'll find them easily. It's the Fox one and the Spicer and Company. All right, guys, gals, everything in between. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Peace and love. Thank you for coming out. We'll talk again tomorrow. For now, as always, Mavakaga out.